All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Modern Mindset podcast. We're on episode number 7. You know,
My name is Jesse.
I'm David, and we have some stuff to talk about today. One thing we're really in the planning phases, even though it's 3 months away, is the Driven show. So this year at our booth in Driven, Calgary, we're really up in the value of the booth. So we want to have like this sick booth experience where there's just a lot to do and a lot to look at and just
always something interesting going on.
Yeah.
We want to obviously music's a big part of it. We want to set a vibe. But recently, do you want to reveal it? I guess?
We'll get into depth about what we're kind of planning for Driven.
Yeah. So we teamed up with
The race room. So yeah, me and Jesse were ripping sims last night for hours with Jacob and Ben over at the race room. And they have these full sims where it's active motion. So the seat shakes you and you have 3 monitors. And they also have VR. So you put the headset on you.
Which is crazy, by the way. I've never experienced it, but I was mind blown. Man.
Same.
I felt like I could touch the roll bar. It was actually crazy.
You when you put the headset on, you were already on the track in the car, right?
Yeah.
Before that, they had me put it on and they were still setting the menu and stuff. And it had you in a house that looked like it was in Banff, and you could see mountains, and there was another loading screen where it was the universe was above you. So it was dude, I actually had a crazy VR experience. I was tripping out. I had the headset on and I was just looking all around, left, right, up, down, and just silent,
VR stargazing.
Yeah. I felt it was entering a different universe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, just putting something over your eyes and your mind believes you're totally somewhere else.
Yo, super side note, I don't know, recently I've found myself just being so stoked on the future and technology and stuff. I can't wait for the day that they have VR contact lenses that you put in and it just changes everything. And oh man, I'm excited for this technology to mature and be able to see all this stuff come to life, because it's really cool, man. That was an insane experience.
Yeah, me too. My mind never experienced something like that, VR, and it's it's almost like traveling. You could go to different places with putting a headset on, and you don't need to fly somewhere for hours and
it was really weird because I put the headset on and I was at first the calibration was off and I was well, I can't find my steering wheel, I don't know where anything is, and then I looked forward and he calibrated it, and the steering wheel in the headset was exactly where it was. My hands reached up and grabbed it exactly where it would have been. It was really crazy.
So yeah, if you guys haven't tried VR virtual reality,
come check out our Driven booth.
Come to our booth. So May 1st, which is that Friday, right?
Yeah.
And then May 2nd, the Saturday, Driven Calgary YYC. We have more details about that on our social medias, but I'm sure many of you know. But yeah, so we're debating whether to have 1 or 2. We're kind of leaning towards 2 of these sim big. Yeah, okay, because we're doing 2.
Yeah,
big sim setups. So one of them is going to be VR virtual reality, so you could come put a headset on and race like that. Another one just
probably Assetto Corsa drifting.
Yeah, Assetto drifting. Yeah, they have this e-brake. Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah. Oh, and they're gonna get a nice actual transmission. I don't know, man. The cost of this equipment is insane.
Oh yeah. So one of these not the virtual reality ones, but just the one with the seat, the pedal box, the active motor in the steering wheel, the shifter, the 3 screens.
Yeah, the nice frame around it, and the Sparko seat.
Yeah, Jacob was saying it goes for $55K USD.
Yeah.
So one of those units, and I definitely want one of those in the future when it becomes a possibility, because saying me and Jesse just went there and I was just vibing hard. I was in the flow state, just drifting. I loved it. I was
I drifted for an hour and then I was whoa, shit.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what happened.
It's such a good time. And I was joking that me and Jesse are going to be on the Sims at Driven, and we're going to be the ones on there the whole day, and everyone's trying to come up, say hey, and But so the Sims definitely is going to be a huge hit.
Yeah, last year we had our little PS4 and our
which was still sick.
Logitech wheel. It was sick. There was a huge line all day.
But this is a big level up.
Yeah, huge level up. And last year I noticed that there was a ton of people always around it, and we really want our booth to kind of feel like a party almost, like just lots of people in it, like
Yeah.
lots of energy and like excitement about it, and just a really clean setup. So
Yeah, along with the
this
music.
collaboration is huge.
Yeah. So like the race room also wants to do like a giveaway. So we'll have a little contest running, like fastest lap time or something like that, and then winner can win something. We'll announce more details as we know. We're still in the planning phases, obviously, but
Definitely plan it early.
yeah,
February.
which is good how you can like execute.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Sims and then like music for sure, like you were saying, you know.
Yeah,
We
good
got-
speaker setup.
Yeah, very good speakers. So maybe some live performances, if you know
Yeah.
what I mean. Dave on the realist, David
true.
ASAP.
That'd be cool actually to have like a few people perform something
yeah.
like. I don't
Mark and
know.
Key would be like, dude, what is going on in your booth? Got like Sims, a live concert, sick
Petting
cars.
zoo, bring in like
Yo.
like a goat there or something.
Dude, yeah, let us know if you want a petting zoo at our driven booth. Calgary Zoo, if you're listening to this.
Looking at a Supra, and there's like a tiger next to it. Yeah, a goat.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, we're just planning early for trying to get like the best possible setup.
We want you guys chilling at the Lowcals booth the whole time.
Yeah, and then this is actually a good little like detour into our next topic, but we're gonna be doing a reveal. Hopefully, I don't want to like lock ourselves into this because there is a shitload of work that needs to be done. But I'm gonna try to get the R32 to a point where it can be like unveiled as like a new, totally evolved build. So if all goes as planned, then that'll be unveiled at Driven 2, and it'd be cool to do like a full like sheet over it.
Yeah.
And, you know, things like that. So
Yes, like a big reveal.
Yeah,
for like
yeah.
Infamous, because like
yes.
we're gonna have a bunch of like high quality carbon fiber,
Yeah, yeah.
handmade Infamous parts on the 32. So it'd be really cool to do this big grand reveal. So
Yes.
that's another big thing.
And speaking of which, we're gonna try to have like a table set up with a bunch of our like actual carbon products on it that you guys can like pick up and like get dirty and like you know hold and shit like that. Like I had a shift knob last year and so many people held it, so I know that's like a really valuable thing. When people can actually like hold something, put it in their hands, and like you know
Shoot it through a
actually
hoop.
see it, yeah, see it up close. It makes a big difference for
Yeah.
like that kind of customer end of it. So we'll try to have a lot of products set up. The Supra will probably not be at Driven this year. It's been like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years in a row now where it's been to every Driven like across Canada. So it needs a break. It needs some like, I think it's time for the R32 to have its spotlight a little bit, and then you know we'll come back to the Supra another year. But
Yeah, and just to touch on that, like, kind of want a new approach with the cars in the booth too. So like the cars you've been seeing the past few years, we're gonna switch it up, get some new faces in the booth, some new style builds, and like something really intriguing and eye-catching. So there's more value added to the booth in that sense. And like same thing with the Altezza. You know how it's like Driven's like a super like just look at it, don't touch.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it'd be like I don't know, like you could sit in the Altezza
that'd be
or like
sick.
do anything.
I'd be down for
like,
that.
Yeah, I'd let anyone like just
Full
chill
on
in
doors
there.
open,
Yeah,
like,
like
hop in.
pretend it's yours.
yeah, that'd be cool,
do
man.
a burnout. You know, like Mark
In the middle of
Keat.
Driven.
What do you think?
As long as we lay down a drop cloth.
Yeah, all we need is a garbage bag under the tires. But yeah, no, like I'd be down
cool.
to have people just chill in the Tesla.
Same,
So
I'd
much
be
more
down.
valuable than just looking at it. Like
Yeah, like full interactive booth is kind of
Yes.
what we're going for.
yeah, so you got that infamous parts, infamous reveal. You got sick new builds. You got
Racing
Sims. You got
Sims.
you got live music.
Lots of cool people to talk to.
Yeah. Oh, and our merchandise. We're gonna have like infamous apparel.
Yes.
So, new launch of clothing. We're gonna have the camo V1s. We're gonna have the Cold City jackets. So, we're gonna have tons of new awesome like accessories and clothing. So like, big hype on that. Like stuff that isn't released and won't be released until Driven Calgary. So.
Yeah, speaking of which, we're doing a release this month on February 15th, I believe. So that'll be like or maybe it's the 14th. What did we decide?
Yeah, I think it's the 14th.
14th? Okay,
Uh,
either one. February 14th or 15th.
So it's Valentine's Day. So you remember?
Did you say Valentine's?
Valentine's.
Okay, all right. I heard it.
I could have said times maybe.
Valentine's.
Valentine's.
But anyways, so we're gonna have the camo V1s releasing that day. as well as the black like CCU pullovers and the navy navy blue.
Yeah, navy,
And
royal
then,
blue.
a couple Infamous stuff as well. We're kind of rebranding Infamous with this whole R32 approach. The approach of the R32 is vastly different from what we've been doing. So typically we've been taking like ABS and shaping them into parts, but this time I'm trying to step it up to the next level and do things like very, very differently. So we'll actually be like, I don't know, there's going to be a whole Infamous series dropping, kind of documenting the new process that we're taking and like the new approach to the brand. So just like, you know, it's 2020, refresh everything, take a new approach, step the quality up, like everything is going to be elevated. Me personally, like I love building arrows, so I'm going to be trying to always increase that level and like, you know, change things as we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of cool content dropping on that.
Yeah, I feel like we're evolving with everything we do like that. And so that Infamous series, and like we also want to do a more behind the scenes of what we kind of do and what we're working towards.
Yeah.
So we were thinking of doing this like Instagram TV, like locals, like weekly or bi-weekly behind the scenes kind of montage of stuff we do throughout the week or two or maybe a month, however much footage we can accumulate, and then post that and show you guys more behind the scenes of what we're doing and how we're planning and like
and how we're actually building the brand too.
Yeah, like, so it's like it's not like you kind of see things happen and then you're like, oh, you wonder how we did it or like what steps we took to get there. We want to like film the steps, so it's like more valuable content, so you guys can like see what we're doing. And like there's a lot of brand related questions we always get, like how do you do this, like when should I do this, like I have a goal of doing this. So like I feel like that'll be very valuable for actually showing it than just like kind of talking about it.
Yeah, plus it's like, I don't know, recently I've found more enjoyable actually. Like I never really saw myself as the YouTuber personality. Like, I don't know, it just feels off sometimes when I used to do that, and like I kind of want to take a whole new approach to the way that I'm doing videos. So like sometimes like I'll probably be producing the Infamous videos and David will be doing like the IGTV kind of segment, but I'm kind of changing it up to more of like a documentary style, like more cinematic, I guess. And like that's the stuff that I enjoy, something that I can actually like put thought and like enjoyment into rather than just being like yo. So I don't know, that's kind of what I've been focusing on lately, just being more natural with it and like doing things I actually enjoy.
Yeah, and just to like touch on that, so the YouTube aspect of like the Infamous content that's coming up, there's like a new style that's coming to the channel, like you were saying, and
very new style,
new production and new style that's coming to YouTube with covering Infamous. So stay tuned for that. And
IGTV too, like we've never really shown like super behind the scenes. Like I don't know, I feel like some YouTubers aren't actually themselves, but like it's cool to show kind of like an unfiltered approach to actually building a business and building a brand.
The process is like
and like you don't have to like pretend to be something. It's just like what we're actually doing and like filming that, documenting that.
That's exactly it. We're like documenting what we're doing. We're not like doing things to get footage.
Exactly.
It's like we're already doing them and we're just gonna film it. So
if you've ever tried to start a YouTube channel, you kind of know the challenge of like, you know, you might have consistent content for a week, and then after that it kind of feels like you're trying to do things just for the sake of content, and like that's not really the approach that you want to take.
Plus, you need to be yourself too, because it's like if you're asking other people what you should make content on, then you're approaching it the wrong way, because you should be the content. You shouldn't need external like suggestions of what to do. You should just
But on the same token, I do think that feedback is important. Like kind of seeing what people really resonate with and like what you can show more of. Not necessarily guiding what you create, but maybe just like, I don't know, what you focus more on sometimes. Or like if something's doing really well, like you know, you get that feedback and keep doing more of that.
Very true. Because like you're ultimately like you're doing it for yourself, but like you're also doing it for other people too. So that's what I like about like the balance theory, is like you always think of both sides like you consider both ends, and that's like what can create balance and like understanding, I guess, if that makes sense. So like you do something for yourself, but you're also considerate of others while you're doing it. I hope that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I feel like I still need to like.
I think one place that I really learned about balance theory is there was a period in time. So we just moved out of our shop like last Friday, 6 days ago. It feels good to be like out of that space and kind of like allowing our minds to explore new opportunities. I feel like part of that shop was holding us back because of like the security of having a shop. It maybe took away some motivation to find a new one because we always had that to fall back on. But now it's actually like a really big push that I think we needed to like get us into the shop that we actually want. But anyways, so a few months ago, I don't remember what we did. Like, well, I kind of do. We just kept like fucking up
all
the
the blank.
Bluebird and like just like there was so much oil on the ground. Like there was so many cars parked randomly in the lot, and like I remember Ray got like pretty upset at us. And like it was in that moment that I kind of realized like we haven't been looking at our actions as they affect other people. And that was like, you know, we were having a lot of fun, but then like Ray was experiencing the opposite of that fun. And that's kind of when that like built up. But you know, everything's good now. We like sorted it out and we like cleaned up our problem. But like that was a huge learning opportunity for me to appreciate the balance theory in its like full effect.
Yeah, that's like that could help me kind of explain what I was trying to say. Is like we spilt oil on the ground near the shop, and then shop neighbor Ray got upset about that. So and then at
It was
first,
bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
Really bad.
At first, I was like Ray, like kind of try to. I was like, relax because it will get cleaned up. Like it will be cleaned up. The oil spills will not be there. Like you don't need to become this angry about it. But now I understand what I mean by balance. Is like I understand his anger and why he was that angry at that time, even though I know in the future the spill will be cleaned up and like resolved and everyone will be happy. But like it's about understanding both parties and not just like fully committing to one point of view and like sticking to that. Like you just need to be consciously aware and thinking of both alternatives, I guess.
And I think that lesson will help us a lot in our next shop, because then we'll be able to avoid like future conflicts like that. Like if we want to get into the shop that we actually want to get into, then you know things like that could be a like more detrimental. Like something like that could ruin a lease or like you know what I'm saying. So it's just like it's good that we went through that, and now we're way more aware of like how our actions actually affect other people, and we can apply that to our next shop. Always learn from your lessons and like mistakes. And like that's another thing too, is there's a lesson in everything. Like if something's happening to you and you're like, oh man, this sucks so bad, like try to just see it as a lesson and try to see the good in it, because there is a silver lining. You just don't know what it is yet, but maybe in the future you will.
Exactly. And that ties down to like self-awareness too, and just reflecting. I feel like so many days I literally change almost like every day, because when you reflect on the day and decisions you made, I just read this interesting theory that like everyone around you and everything around you is just like a reflection of like yourself, right? So if you have an issue with someone, you have that issue like deep within, rooted within yourself. So it's like it's all about like this self journey of like understanding why it's bringing out an emotional charge in you, and then like basically implementing the golden rule. And we all learned it as kids. And this is like what I'm reading about in my book right now. It's like specifically talking about the golden rule. So it's like everyone you interact with, you're supposed to like treat them as yourself. And if you have an issue with someone, it's like really means you have an issue within yourself. So it's like the more you treat others as yourself, like do unto others how you wish to be treated. So that's what you put out, and that's what will come back to you.
Balance,
like good energy, you know?
I remember we talked about how like say someone is leaving their house and they're like late for an appointment and then they're in traffic, and like rather than being like, oh, I made a mistake because I left late, they're just like choose to get mad. They get mad at the traffic.
I remember
Like,
we
fuck
were
these
talking about that.
guys, like,
Yeah.
fuck this car in front of me,
Yeah.
like honking on the horn and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That person is so angry at the world, but like internally it's because they made a mistake,
Yeah.
but they can't own up to it, so
Yeah.
they just choose to like blame it on other people.
Don't be that guy. The guy that like isn't diligent and procrastinates, so they leave the house late. Totally their fault.
Yeah.
They could have like scheduled their time better and left earlier. You have control of your time, and then like as soon as you leave, you're rushing, and like the guy in front of you is an idiot. The guy behind you's tailgating you. Like, why is the speed limit so slow here? You're just blaming like external circumstances.
Exactly. You gotta take that responsibility.
Yeah.
That's one big thing. Huge. This is massive. If you get anything from this podcast, listen up. You are always at fault. It's always
You're
your
an
fault.
idiot.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, like you gotta take full responsibility for everything in your life, even other people.
Yeah.
If someone is like, I don't know, so a good example is like a boss. If his employees are like really bad employees and they're never doing their jobs, he's the one that hired them. So a good boss takes that responsibility on himself. A bad boss blames those employees and like never allows them to grow.
Yeah, I heard recently the employees of a business are a representation of the boss.
For
it's
sure.
like the person that's running the operation and like how things operate. Like their employees are just manifestations of that. So yeah, it all leads to the the leader.
Literally everything is your fault. When you take full accountability for everything that's happening in your life, it actually like frees you.
Yeah, and I just want to add that like when we say like take accountability and like make sure you're like not blaming but like focusing on yourself and like how you can improve. Like me and Jesse aren't like people that have this figured out or we know like this is like I'll do something and then like literally the same day at night I'll realize that it wasn't a good move. So it's like and I'll learn.
Or it contradicts what we say.
Yeah, so like
we're not perfect.
Yeah.
But
So like imagine if I said something to you or did something to you and then we left and then the rest of the night you're like, damn, I can't believe David did that.
Yeah.
And then that night I'm like, shit, I shouldn't have done that. I should have reacted different. And then the next day I'm like, okay, I'm a different guy. I'm gonna do a new approach. But like say you, for example, would be like, oh, I still think David's a dick because of this. But like I'm already changed, I'm different. You kind of have to like reset your opinions on someone like daily because like people are like constantly changing and evolving, at least if they're trying to like become more self-aware and like become better. It's important.
So definitely like self-reflection, just huge. Self-awareness, accountability, like if you just follow those steps, like you can be a good person.
And use the golden rule. Trust.
What is the golden rule again?
Treat others how you wish to be treated. Everyone is a reflection of yourself. It's just like crazy like deep theory where it's like there's no such thing as anyone else. Everyone is you.
True. Yo, that actually just brought up an interesting idea that I had. I wanted to talk about this a few weeks ago. There is no such thing as you. So like the you that I know is different from the you that your parents know, and the you that your sister knows, and like the you that Charles knows is different from the one that I know. So it's just like nobody really knows you except for you. So like you don't exist in the world
the way you think you do.
The way you think you do.
That's so true.
You don't have no idea what people think of you. Like
everyone's opinion of you is different. Like everyone's. And
like the type of person you are is different. Like I'm a totally different person around my grandparents than I am around like some of my...
At the club.
At the club. Exactly. Right? So it's just interesting that like there's so many different versions of you simultaneously, and like two versions could totally contradict each other. Like if someone meets me for 2 seconds when like I don't get in bad moods often, but like...
So you're in a rush or something.
So something happens and I'm at the gym and I like bump into someone and like I don't say sorry because I think it's his fault just because of how I'm feeling in that moment. That guy thinks that I'm a dick
for like...
Forever.
Forever. I know that Jesse guy. He's a huge fucking dick,
and then things expand and he tells people and then they're like... I don't know, like stories evolve, so right? True. So there's like so many different versions of you in existence. So just I don't know what you can use this for, honestly.
What I think is like, there's so many different versions of you, and like people are always gonna have opinions about you. It's just human nature, but it all doesn't matter, honestly. Like the only one thing that matters is your own opinion of you. So like,
True.
you're always gonna have infinite opinions about you, but like other people's opinions shouldn't matter to you and don't matter. So like, it's about working up to get to that point where other people's opinions don't matter. Because you're not doing anything in life for validation through others. You're doing it all for yourself. So
Yeah,
it's your own opinion is like the important one.
Yeah.
You know, just like be a good person.
You gotta love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of people don't.
Yeah, and like that ties in with just super important, like building confidence. Because when you build confidence in yourself, you start to love yourself, and then you start to not care about other people's opinion because you're more confident. So like
you value your own opinion of yourself higher than
Yeah.
other people's.
So it's like, and it's such a waste of time to think of what other people think of you.
Yeah,
It's
because
like,
you never know.
yeah, and then even if you
never
do
know.
know, it's like just a waste of time. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
and even still, it's not true because, like I said, you don't exist. There's their opinion of you. It doesn't matter what it is because it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? like it only exists for them. That's their opinion
I
of.
see.
So you can redefine yourself to someone else if you don't. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like,
but overall, like the most important opinion is, and the only one you should
Yeah.
be concerned about is yourself.
Yeah.
But like, don't be a dick to people and like think you're a good person. You know, it
Yes,
has to
yeah,
be
yeah,
like
yeah.
a 1-to-1 ratio.
yeah, just because I think I'm a good person.
I'm a fucking good person, and then you're like tripping someone.
Pushing him down.
Yeah. I'm a good person.
Great person.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This podcast has been all over the place.
It's
I
good
feel like
though.
we've
I
had
like
a
this
lot of
content.
dropping a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, a lot of people say thank you to you guys, by the way, that listen to the podcast, because it's
Yeah.
definitely like a sub niche of people that are willing to invest like a good chunk of time
For sure.
to us to like learn about us and like develop yourselves
Yeah.
along the way.
Yeah, we said last week, like, feel free to DM us or message us. And, like, I actually got a lot of messages personally. And, like, same with the Lowcals IG, got a lot. But one of the messages I got is he just listened to what we said about, like, reaching for goals. And, like, he actually started a fund to, like, I don't remember what he's saving up for, but he's, like, he actually listened and he sent me a nice message about, like, direct feedback of, like, you know, appreciating what we're saying and, like, learning from things. So
Yeah.
that's like the ultimate goal of this is to kind of like show you guys the mindset of what we do, and then the actual video content is more like the process of what we do.
Yeah, that's a
So-
good way to put it.
Yeah, like this is our like thought patterns and like how we're developing. It'll be cool to watch these in the future and like see how much we've actually changed.
Yeah.
We'll probably say some shit that like contradicts old
Exactly.
us
That's
in
what I
the
mean, like
future.
by you're changing every day. And
Yeah.
like, I wonder if we watched episode 1 right now, if like our
Probably.
beliefs are different. Like,
Probably.
damn, I don't think like that anymore. That's
Yeah.
what I mean by you're always changing. And like we talked about that on the last podcast, where like if you change, that's a good thing. You know,
Yes.
it's like people try to state that as like, oh, you've changed, you're different. But
Yeah.
like, you know, society like thinks that like,
Yep.
you know,
You changed,
changing is
man.
being bad, but
You've
like
changed, bro.
it's actually good.
It is, yeah.
You know.
One thing I noticed, I have a lot of, like, I know a lot of people who still hang out with all the same group of friends from, like, high school, and it's just, like, I don't know, I feel like that group hasn't really changed. Like, they haven't evolved from that state because they're all, like, keeping themselves in that bubble. Like, maybe a little bit, but I don't know. It's
Yeah, I get what
it's
you mean,
interesting, like,
You're surrounded by
the same group,
people.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, this is just like a statement, but like 2, 3, 4, every 3, 4, 5 years, you don't want the same previous
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 years. So kind of like tying in with our shop space and like
Yes, for
our
sure.
attempts at things, it's like, and like what we did during summer, it's like, okay, we did the same thing the past 3, 4, 5 years. Hypothetically, like, let's not do the same things for the next 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's like taking new approaches, trying new things, going new places, meeting new people. It's like,
Yeah, that's how you grow your like business, your personal life, like your friend life, everything. Like there's this company that I know of, and it's like a successful company, but their growth is really limited because there's nobody in the company that's trying to grow more. It's just like, this is the way it is, this is how much money we make every year, and like these are the people that work here, and that's it. And this company is just like locked in, so they're capped at that level of growth. But like, in order to really grow, you need to analyze like what you've been doing and how you can do things differently, and like always evaluating change.
Yeah, that's a good point, because like a lot of people like see outer circumstances or results or just, you know, things, and then they think that's the way it is. Same thing goes with mindset. Just like people might hear a certain mindset, strategy, or just perspective and be like, oh, well, they have that mindset, but I don't. But it's like, the thing you need to understand is like mindset and habits and things you do are developed over doing them over and over. Like, it's not like you were born a way and then you're that way forever.
Yeah.
So it's like, same thing ties in with that. It's like, it's not like your business is like this and, and it stays like this.
Exactly.
It's like, it's not like your mind is like this and it stays like this. Like, if you want it bad enough, you'll like work towards changing it.
Yeah. And like, things can always be grown and changed.
Always.
Yeah. Oh, that actually, there was a question we got on IG that said, do you guys feel like you've hit a plateau? Just kind of want to like touch on this. So plateaus are really interesting because it's basically like you grow and then you like level off, and then at this point you can either like grow more or level off or like go down. Like, there's just so many ways you can handle it. So it's not like, first of all, our growth is not something that just happens to us. It's like something we're actually working towards. So I'm not gonna, I don't know, what's a good way to explain this?
I feel like how I would explain this is like, you only hit a plateau if you're defined by what you're trying to reach.
Yeah.
And we don't have like a definitive, like,
Yes.
It's like, yeah, I saw that response and I was like, they're like, we're continually evolving and like working towards growing all aspects, whether it's our business or our personal lives, whether it's like finances or social lives or family, like progress and like self-development, everything's increasing daily. So like, as long as you're getting better and working towards getting better daily, like there's like, what does a plateau even mean?
Yeah.
Just like,
if he's speaking in terms of like followers, like, I don't know, you're looking at it wrong, man. Like, we're not doing this for followers.
yeah,
Like, I've developed as a person so much more than like, or I don't know, you can't even compare the two, right? It's just like self-development to followers. Like, it doesn't make sense that way.
Yeah, for sure. This is like super ties in with that. So like, you can't be defined by physical things. It's like, this kind of gets into the spiritual subject, but like, you're not defined by like physical things such as numbers or followers or money. So for example, myself at the gym the other day, I forget, I think I lifted like, it was like 70-pound dumbbells or something. And then a few days later, it went down to like 60, right? So the average mind would be like, okay, so like this number went down from 10 pounds. So that means I'm not making progress, because like you define yourself with the number on the dumbbell, but maybe your body needed a break and it needed to deload. So you could better your form and like actually strengthen the deep tissue of the muscles. So then like a week later you can lift more weight. You know what I mean? It's not like
very true.
So it's like, you can't be defining your progress by like the number.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. Yeah, so like plateaus do not define us because it doesn't mean anything to us. Like, as long as we're developing and like we realize, you know, we have a bigger picture at the end of everything. So like, we're not gonna let, you know, a follower count or anything like that, money, like nothing that defines us.
Yes, that's so true. And just like, even like,
so like, what is a plateau is when you are the same person for like 3-4 years and you haven't changed. That's like the only real plateau.
Yeah, just like sitting doing nothing. Yeah. That's like plateauing.
Even at the gym, man. Like, I've been gymming for like 5-6 years, and like, I probably haven't gotten that much bigger since I was like 2-3 years ago, but like, I still have like great workouts, and like, I still have like individual goals, and like, just because my weight isn't increasing or my like, you know, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, numbers don't define that growth. It's bigger than that. Yeah. What are you looking at?
was having some mic issues.
Did you forget to hit record, bro?
No, some weird pop-up came up. Hopefully it's still good. Sorry, Evan. Shit. Hopefully it's still synced up. Yeah.
Shouldn't be too bad. But yeah.
Even like say you have a lot of money and then you lose a lot of money. It's you're not like your success isn't defined by money,
Yeah,
you know,
man.
and your progress at the gym isn't defined by the number on the dumbbell.
Yeah, so many entrepreneurs build huge companies and then lose it all, and then they build huge companies again because that's not the type of person they are. They don't just accept defeat and they don't just accept like that loss. They learn from it and then they build a company twice as big. Like
And I feel like society's so trained to validate themselves on external things like numbers, money, followers, and
the world is all about numbers now.
Like
always has been actually. Yeah.
But it's like you're so much more. You're defined and your value is worth so much more than your follower count or how much money you have.
Yeah.
And it's like you actually need to it's one thing to hear it and then it's one thing to understand that. So yeah, that
even the guy listening to this, like if that was your question, like I hope you understand what we're saying, but even if you don't, like I wouldn't expect you to.
Yeah.
Because you might not be at that level of self-awareness yet. I hope you are, but like
or you increase
you might not be, you know? Yeah, you might increase it a little bit by listening to this, but like I don't know. It's just like it's a steady learning process and like you have to understand.
People believe only what they believe through their thoughts and perception of reality. So it's like if you have an opinion about something, you're going to believe it because you do, even if it's not the truth.
Yeah, very true. Even contradicting beliefs, like you'll find a reason to doubt it just because you believe it. It's like a bias.
Yeah. Balance.
Balance theory. Yo, what was our flow state? That's like our balance theory and flow state. That's what I want you guys to learn from us. Those are like two big things.
Seriously, flow state, I want to talk about it every podcast. Once again, just to summarize, flow state is say you have a list of things you need to do every single day. Say you have 5 things on this list. So when you're on item number 1, you put all of your focus on that task number 1. And then once you're done task number 1, you put all of your focus on task number 2. And it's you get into the state where you don't think about the other things you need to do on your list, or you don't think about time, and it's this state where it's challenging, but you're smart enough to overcome challenges, but then a new challenge arises and then you're smart, you're constantly working your skills to evolve as a person, but then as you solve something and become smarter, a new level of something you need to overcome and solve reveals itself. So you're
bigger challenge.
And I feel honestly, it makes you smarter.
Oh and, for sure.
More consciously aware. You're wiser. You're just evolving as a human.
When you come out of flow state, because the other day I was sanding my wing, and sanding, man, holy shit. Let me tell you, I've been a super perfectionist. I'm filling holes that are half a millimeter in diameter, super small pinholes in this wing, and I'm I spend hours filling each hole and sanding it, and then I look back at the time and I don't even realize that any time has passed. I was actually in another world, just focused on getting this wing done, and I spent 3-4 hours doing it and didn't even realize that time had passed. And then you actually come out of it. It's like a trance.
Yeah, totally.
It's super weird.
Yeah, the fact that you said it's you're in another world, that's not an under exaggeration. You're so focused on the task at hand that that's all you're focused on. So other realities of life don't have a chance to alter your state of mind.
Which can be good or bad.
Yes, for sure. Balance theory. And for just to give you guys a good example, if you don't grasp balance theory, what it is, think of someone playing an instrument, like a guitar. Envision a super passionate guitar player. When they're playing, they're so into their notes and hitting all the keys, and they're you can see it on their face with their facial expression, they feel
in the zone.
As they're playing guitar, they're not thinking about what do they need to pick up later at the grocery store,
You mean flow state? You said balance theory.
Yeah, flow state. Flow state is what I'm talking
Just to
about.
clarify.
Yeah, when they play guitar, they're in flow state. So it's like they're fully focused on playing this guitar. They're not worried about any other thing. So like that's the sort of like that is flow.
Yep.
Yeah.
But to kind of include balance theory in that, the what is it called when you get calluses on your fingers? That's what it is, eh? Like when you're
Blisters.
playing, blisters and calluses on your fingers from playing guitar a lot. Like that is the negative, and then it's offset due to balance theory by the positive of becoming like a skillful guitarist. You know, so it's like that balance between the two. Like you got to go through some pain in order to receive the reward of what you actually want, and those two balance each other out.
Yeah. And this is like super big. Everything you do, like everything is progress. So like you never ever get something right away. So just like playing guitar, first time you pick it up, you're gonna suck.
Yeah.
So bad, and then like months and months and years later is when you're good.
Yes.
And same thing with going to the gym. Like the first day or first week, you're not gonna see anything, and then months and years go by. That's when you get results and bigger. And like same thing with your mindset. Like you have to implement a new way of thinking. You're not gonna see results for days and weeks, but months and years later, like everything, literally everything you do and want to do is progress. Like it takes time, like steps towards it every day. You can't just try it out. Like, you know, you can't just say, oh, I'll try out law of attraction, you know, if I don't get a Lambo next week.
Exactly.
Like I know
So
someone
many
that was
people do
like,
that.
yo, law of attraction, such bullshit, man. Like pretended to be happy and like focused on the Lamborghini on my driveway for 2 weeks straight. And like nothing came, man. It's
No
total
Lambo.
bullshit, man. Like
Shit doesn't work.
and like, you know, it could take, that's what I mean with the
Years,
creating
decades,
new habits to create new results that are desired. Yeah, it could take 6 months, could take a year, could take 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 25.
years, like,
But like, and then like, I know some people will be like, what? Like might take 10 years for me to change my mindset to get what I want. Damn, that's so
It's too
long, like
yeah.
10 years. Like, what, do you plan on dying in like 9 years or 10 years? Like the way I look at it is like time will pass regardless. So why not? Like,
why would you not?
like why do you think, why are you looking at it and thinking it's like such an overwhelming amount of time where you don't want to do it, but the time will pass anyway. So it's like, you know?
Yeah, literally, like, investing in your own mental development is the most valuable thing you can do with your time, I would say.
Yeah,
The
100%.
most valuable.
Like, yeah.
It's going to benefit you long term so much more than, like, any other task.
You got to be patient and, like, just remember everything is progress. Like,
just try to reflect often and, like, really think, like, what do I enjoy doing? What do I not enjoy doing? Who do I enjoy being around?
Yeah.
And, like, vice versa. And just really write it down too. Always write that shit down, because like you'll write it or you'll think about it and then you'll forget about it. But if you write it down and then you review it, you'll be able to reflect more. So like the more you can write down, sometimes I'll just open a page and write whatever I'm thinking. Doesn't matter what it is, just start writing, and then like you can review that, and it's like that piece of paper is now like eternalized, so you can always reflect on it. And
yeah. It's like, don't trust your memory.
yeah, never trust your memory.
And it's like when
that
you
shit lies, man.
and you like forget it, like it gets blurry after a few days. So if something sick happens, or like you get good vibes, or like you know, something cool, just like write it down. Like it just takes a few seconds, and it's like,
or if you really want to do something, like write it down, because a lot of people will
goals
be
and
like,
stuff.
oh man, like I've always wanted to play guitar, but then they like never do it because they keep forgetting about it. Like you actually don't want to do it if you haven't done it. So you got to write it down, and then like.
Plus, when you like write stuff down, you're bringing it from the thought world to physical world, because you're like bringing it to existence by like giving it letters and putting it on a piece of paper. Yeah, and I have this theory that like when you write stuff down, it's like talking to your subconscious mind.
For sure.
So I feel like writing stuff
very
down
true,
really helps with accomplishing goals.
Yeah, I'd say so. Huge.
Yeah, and like writing down with like a pencil or a pen, so you see your own handwriting, not like typing on your phone.
Yeah, typing on your phone is not the same.
No. And like I'll like sometimes do a transfer method, so I'll get like thoughts and like cool things happen to me, so I'll write that on my phone so I remember it, and then like I'll transfer it to written form later on in the day.
Yeah.
4420. Should we make this one short and sweet?
It's only 10 minutes shorter, but yeah, sure. Yeah, I feel like that was good. We talked about a lot of stuff, a lot of value. Remember, comment and like ask us questions, send us DMs, do whatever you gotta do. Like we're more than willing to listen and to talk to you guys. We want to have like a really good personal connection with all of you guys. So, do that.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Jesse likes you guys. I'm just kidding. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the next Modern Mindset episode.
February 15th. Don't forget about it.
Yeah,
Mark
the
that
drop.
date. Locals release.
Sick
We got a big
merch
surprise
going
for that
on.
too.
Yeah.
Big surprise being unveiled next week. We're not going to tell you what it is yet. We're going to post some photos of the product. So be sure to follow us and follow our IGs at YYC Locals. Stay tuned for the infamous and the IGTV video coming up.
Yep.
Lots of cool stuff.
Thanks, guys.
Have an excellent day.
Peace.
Bye. Balance theory.